I think we all admit that love education is part of sex education, but current sex education teaches very little on love. Hong Kong Family Planning Association conducted sexuality surveys on high school students in the year 2011 and 2016. Among the many topics in sex education, the top two that students wish to learn were adolescence, courtship, and romantic love. The findings proved how much we have owed them, and how we had done nothing despite this finding. There are many backlashes of insufficient love education. It would cause general loss of confidence in love, and then there will be wide continuous rise in the age of marriage, in divorce rate, and brief sexual intercourse or relations. There will be wide continuous fall in birth rate, and this continuous fall in birth rate will impair personal health. It will cause an aging population, and then impair economic growth and social stability. This becomes a crisis that must be tackled by most civilized societies nowadays, including Asians. There are many reasons for poor love education. Multiple reasons are not going to be enumerated here. But I think the most difficult problem is probably the lack of teaching materials, not only the theoretical materials, but the lack of real living role models of successful love relationships. This model is very important for the students to learn and as encouragement to have good love life. Then what are the conditions of an ideal love education model? It can vary in different cultures, but in our current mainstream ideas, an ideal love education model should probably be, of course, real, verifiable. They must not be myths, fairy tales, fiction, or other fabricated stories. It has to be one-to-one, that is, in our culture, and this has to be a long-lasting relationship, maybe over 25 years at least, or better, a lifelong relationship. And in this lifelong relationship, the couple should be able to continue to keep each other satisfied and happy. And they could go on loving without deception, can totally trust each other. And their love probably maybe require them to be based on the not superficial or materialistic attractions, but also on the partner's character and feelings, etc., etc. There may be many more that you want to add, but after all of this, even you have found them, these couples, they must be willing to expose their ideal love history for public scrutiny, study, and comments for educational purpose. Have you found such a model couple? I have been looking for it for a long time and in vain too, but suddenly, on looking back, I think I got it. It is my love story with my wife. The rest of this talk will give a brief account of how I discovered my love story is an ideal love education model, what is my love story per se, and how I have successfully used my story to teach love education. I began around the early 80s in the last century to teach sex education in Hong Kong, without teaching love at that time. But because I brought out a lot of anti-traditional sex concepts, the public gave me many bad names, even called me sex monster. The bad names in the newspapers, I got it, you can have them a little bit here, call me a disastrous lunatic, the long-term harmful award, they give me the long-term harmful award. And the attack came also went to my miserable wife too. As I was supposed to be a monster, the public, especially the women liberation group, felt that my wife must be very miserable too, having to publicly support my views against her view. They wrote open letters to her, trying to rescue her. In order to find evidence that I was a monster, the media began to investigate my private life, pay personal visits to my wife, children, colleagues, friends, etc., to get the truth. But it turned out that they could only praise our love and a marital relationship instead. So that's what they published in newspaper. Sex specialist loves only one person in his life. They said every day is a Valentine's Day for them. They say our relationship is a poetic and artistic romantic love story, a close and loving couple. After that, many love and marital guidance organizations invited me and May to take part in their activities as model lovers. Gradually, overseas media also reported our love story. Now here you see an CNN interview in Valentine's Day, and then there's a Japan report on May's painting exhibition on our 20th wedding anniversary. Many magazines and newspapers invited me to contribute articles on the methods of love and marriage. My first popular book on love education was published in 1994, combined with sex education. But it was still too much theory in the book, little use of my own love example. I found that readers need to know more about me and May before they can learn our characters, life histories, and even stage of our love. I decided to organize my love story in detail and publish it first, better after I retire. So here is a very brief account of my love story. So that's me. I was born in Hong Kong. I love reading, thinking, music, and art. But my father only wanted me to enter medical school, so I did. After entering medical school, I found that the Hong Kong girls could not attract me. And at the same time, all my musical partners in middle school had also left Hong Kong for good. So I felt quite lonely, decided to seek pen pals in 1968. I got nearly 100 replies, but could not be attracted by the letters. I threw them all away and forgot them. A year later, a reply came from South Vietnam. The beautiful penmanship shocked me. I promptly replied. The letter came from a girl called Xiu Mei. This is Xiu Mei. She was originated from Guangdong, China, but was born in Haiphong, resided in Da Nang in the wartime Vietnam. She liked painting since a toddler, also penmanship, music, and novel writing. She wrote 9 popular novels by the age of 15, given the nickname Little Chung Yao by her fans in Da Nang. Chung Yao is a living famous Chinese lady writer. In 1968, after she graduated from high school in Saigon, May was called back by her father to work for the United States military in Da Nang. Away from the Saigon cultural circle, May had poor artistic life. Although she bought a piano, she could not find friends of the same interest. She accidentally saw a person who loved music and art in a magazine's pen pal column. Not knowing that it was a magazine of a year ago, she replied. After 3 months, having only exchanged 9 letters and no photos, I pledged my love to her. She sent me her identity card photo, telling me not to have any fantasies on her appearance. But I was even more fascinated because she was more beautiful than I could ever imagine. In this way, we ignore the war, which is the second Vietnam War, the distance, the views of others, maintained letter communication and unwavering love for 2 years. May sent me an embroidery she stitched with the words "work hard" with courage on it. I mailed her the G string on my violin, signifying endurance and serenity. The post office I sent and received my love letters in Hong Kong at that time is now retained by the government as a statutory monument. Still in the monument is the mailbox from where I picked up my love letters. In 1971, after I graduated medicine, I had 1 month holiday. By cheating my parents and after a lot of turmoil, I went to the wartime Vietnam to see May, but I had only 7 days left. In those 7 days, we were together day and night. We walked the beaches, went sightseeing, had encountered dangers, did what most lovers would do, except real sex, because we did not wish to create more complications to our already very gloomy future. Those were the 7 days we could never forget. After departure, we continued with the letters. I worked hard in the hospital. May succeeded to get admission by the Taiwan University. After overcoming many more frustrations, she finally got the exit permit to go from Vietnam to Taiwan. In 1972, May solved away all the males who crazily admired her in Taiwan. She came to Hong Kong to marry me on September 19th. What are our love characteristics? What made our love so successful? Well, here are a few of them that I would like to pick out. We continued our artistic pursuits after marriage unceasingly up to now. We still play the piano, violin, we also sing, write a lot of things, and paint. Together or separately, never for profits, but for interest or charitable purposes. Another characteristic is our financial situation. I am not good at financial matters, so I let May manage all of my income since the day we married. May has been such a good manager that by investing wisely, she earned more than double of my income from my whole working life. Third characteristic, we never quarreled. Since our acquaintance, we have by nature never quarreled, even for once. Not a red or black face, even just for a second. For every problem, we work together to settle it. Another big characteristic is that we get remarried anytime, with the same person, of course. For us, every day is a celebration, a wedding anniversary, a time for Valentine's meal, a couple's toast, or a romantic photo. Here are some of our romantic photos, taken 1972 at our marriage, 1982, 10 years anniversary, 1984, 1993, 1994, 1997, 1998, 98, 2002, 2003, 2007, 2010, 2012, 2015, 2016, 2017. After my retirement in 2007, as I planned, by the encouragement and help of colleagues, I wrote 2 love autobiographies, one before and one after my marriage. On Valentine's Day 2012, Hong Kong World Trade Center exhibited 10 classic romantic love letters from all over the world, past and present. My love letters to sex was one of them. On February 2017, my book This Is How We Love Till Old was selected by the Hong Kong Government Public Library as a recommended reading on the topic of love. At the end of 2012, the Belgian publishing house Nendu prepared to publish the World Book of Love, invited 100 scholars from 15 countries, each to write 1,000 words on the latest theory and discovery about love. I was the only Chinese scholar invited, selected, and asked to write more the words than specified. In September 2013, the book launching ceremony of the World Book of Love was held in Brussels. I, together with a German scholar, was invited to come with my spouse to represent all the authors as an officiating guest and give a keynote speech at the first World Congress of Love. May and I had to go around different cities to do media interviews, book signing, love workshops, and take promotional photos, etc. This is our residence during the Brussels Congress. Very nice. In April 2013, I was invited to give a speech on love methods to the staff and students in Shenzhen University, China. In September 19, 2015, May and I were invited by the Shenzhen Family Planning Association and Shenzhen Marriage and Family Research Center to give a public talk on love and a music performance also at our 43rd wedding anniversary. And by August 2018, our detailed love biography was written by Huang Chan, an artist and sexologist in China. He volunteered to do this after knowing me, May, and my work. It took 6 years to write the book, collect information from us, our friends and relatives, also from archived, printed, and recorded materials. He also visited the places where our story happened to catch the atmosphere and feeling. The book had 400,000 words, 600 pages and photos, and 20 internet-linked videos, the first of published biographies. So, it's time for me to assess my love story with May. I think our love is still getting more romantic and deeper than when we first met or got married. Our wishes and promises made before marriage had all been and more than realized, and still continuing to grow excessively above our imagination. At this age, I can't help but claim that our love is a validated world champion and an effective model for love education. So, what is my hope by promoting this? I hope that my model can help our societies pay more attention to love education. That our model can help love education to establish a clearer aim and direction to make the teaching easier. We hope that our model can encourage colleagues to seek more similar or even better models, or make models themselves to benefit self and others. So that's all I want to say. So I welcome your emails to me anytime for further discussion. Thank you.